Using Stomp filters, you can put some very nice final touches on video footage. We'll look at 3 filter settings here: a basic color correction, soft focus, and finally a more complex vignette combination. Remember that these and other filters have their place, but that over-application of the filters can result in unprofessional and tacky results. Subtlety is the key here. In Stomp version 1, filters are tied to a preset, so for this demo I'm going to create a new preset for each filter that I demonstrate. Let's create a new one based on the high compression preset to demonstrate color correction. Okay, press the filter button or Apple II, either or, in order to switch to the filter view. I'm going to select some previous footage recorded using the Apple Intermediate codec, which has a tendency sometimes to come out a bit washed out. So here we go. Applying a filter is simple. We click on the plus button to bring up the filter menu and add the filter that we want, in this case gamma correction. The filter appears at the top in the list above, with settings just below. Here we've just got a single slider, so we adjust the gamma to suit, say up to about there, done. So I'll turn preview on and off so that you can see the difference, and also we have a side by side. Now in this case it's really subtle. I'm not overdoing the filter. You can do that yourself actually, just download Stomp and have a go. It's subtle, but it brings out the colors a lot nicer. Okay, back to Stomp. Let's simulate a soft focus filter. There are a couple other ways you can do this. I'll go through a few. The simplest, actually we'll create the preset first. Let's do that and name that soft overlay. The simplest is to create a soft overlay. We can do this one by applying a Gaussian blur like that and setting the blend mode to lighten. Then we just need to adjust the opacity of the filter to suit the image. So you can see, playing with that there, you can see that perhaps there, that's a bit softer than the original. Again, I've got a before and after shot, you can see the difference. Okay, let's look at another technique, which we could call a desaturated copy. So I'll create that preset, name it. Okay, so we add this time a color correction and we adjust the contrast, set the saturation right down, and again set the blend mode to lighten. Now we add a blur on top of this, down like that, and set that also to lighten. Now you can get different results here based on modifying the opacity, which is what's called a mount in Stomp. Modifying the opacity of each layer independently. So you can see that here. By doing that we get a different result. You'll have to experiment based on the image or the movie that you've got. And here you can see one setting where I've done a before and after shot and the difference there. So it's just really soft and brings out a bit more light. Okay, so let's go for a more complex filter setup. This time a vignette. It's a technique where the areas around the edge of the video are either darkened or completely excluded. Let's do this by example. So we'll create another filter, we'll call that Vignette. Okay, and over to filters mode. So we first create a radial gradient, which is a generator, and we switch that to the multiply blend mode. Now also we'll need to swap the colors around so we get this around the right way. Color 1 we want to be black, and color 2 should be a light grey. Okay, now we'll set the radius, radius number 1 about there, and number 2 down here. We're aiming for a larger spread on the gradient so that it's really smooth. Now depending on the size of the image you've got, you will have to adjust the amount of filter applied so that it doesn't just have a circle in the middle of the image. Okay, right, that's getting there. So let's also apply a little gamma. I want to darken the image a bit here. Alright, just a little bit. And also we'll give a little bit of glow, so we add in a bloom filter, which is a stylize. So I'll reduce the intensity of the bloom so that it's just noticeable. I don't want too much. Again, subtlety is the key. Finally, I'll add in a very small amount of Gaussian blur in lighten mode to emulate a soften focus. So there, lighten mode. Now the radius I'll leave up there, but in order to soften the blur down a bit, I'm just going to lower the amount. Okay, so there you have it. And there's a comparison of what we had first and what we've ended up with. So you can see it brings a focus into the center of the image. And depending on how much you darken the outside and bring in the gamma, you can adjust things. It's really good to have a play. I mean, you should download Stomp and give this stuff a go. It's always going to be different depending on what footage you've got. But notice how each of the additions that we add in a filter is producing a very, 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 very subtle effect. And that's kind of why you need to experiment. Depending on the quality of this video that you're watching, you can't really see exactly how it's coming out. So download it and have a go. So I hope you've enjoyed this demonstration of Stomp filters. You can download Stomp from shinywhitebox.com, and at the top of that page there'll be a link to the Stomp product. The demo version's got all of the same features, so you can try them out and get a feel for what Stomp can do. Thanks for watching.